Hello there. It is I once again. It's been a while, but I'm back. Jordan, aka Defcos, One Piece fanboy extraordinaire, of course. But today we're not talking about One Piece. We'll be talking about another very popular, very good manga. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We'll be talking about Hunter x Hunter, Volume 4. I've been meaning to read this for a long time, or reread it, I should say, because I read it before a long time ago. Um, but I've been meaning to reread it for a long time, and I've been meaning to catch up to Hunter x Hunter, to be honest, because um, I don't know. I think it's a great manga, and I have a lot to catch up on. And I've read like the first maybe I don't know. I want to say I'm not even sure, but maybe the first 10 volumes or something like that, maybe more. 10, 12, something like that. I've read the beginning, and I know it goes on hiatuses a lot. Here comes my cat. Hello, Agua. And I've been meaning to catch up, at least so that I can be at wherever the manga is now. I can reach that point. Um, and there's a lot of it that I haven't read, and I'm sure it's great, and so I would like to catch up. I'm doing it slowly but surely. Um, so yeah, so let's start reviewing the volume, shall we? All right. So it starts off, and it's in the middle of the hunter exam where they're in the forest and they're trying to like hunt each other's badges for points. And Hisoka has spotted Leolio and Kurapika, and Gon is like tailing Hisoka. Um, so yeah, because Hisoka has the badge that Gon needs. Um, so Hisoka comes across Leolio and Kurapika, and they decide that uh, they'll give because they have extra badges. Kurapika does, and he says, "Yeah, I can give you this extra badge that I don't need, but if you want my badge or my target's badge, we're gonna have to fight." And then Hisoka, I don't know. He decides he's usually pretty bloodthirsty, but he decides to not fight them and to just take the badge that they don't need. And then he leaves them, or they leave him. And so yeah, so Gon is tracking Hisoka this whole time. Gon is so awesome. I love Gon. I wonder if Gon's my favorite character. Is he? Well, Kilo's pretty dope. I love Leolio too. Hisoka's awesome. There's a lot of really cool characters in Hunter x Hunter. Um, I love Hanzo, which I don't know if he shows up that much after this volume in the series. It would be awesome if he did because I think he's a cool character. I'll have to read on and see if he ever shows up again. But yeah, I love Hanzo. Um, yeah, and this is something that I love too. Like if you look here, like I love the range of Yoshihiro Togashi's art. Like he'll do some panels that are super well drawn and super detailed, a lot of hatching, and then he'll do other panels that are like I don't know, like more simplistic. Um, yeah, so I love that about his art because he's clearly like so talented. Like he's one of the best artists, like manga artists, ever. And he's a big inspiration to me. He's a big inspiration to me because I also happen to draw. In case you come across this video and you don't know me, which I don't know how likely that is, but yeah, I like to draw too. And I've been reading, Hunter x Hunter since I was like a teenager, even though I haven't kept up with it like I've kept up with One Piece. I did that for a lot of manga, like Bleach and Naruto, um, Hunter x Hunter, like I Shaman King. I read them like when I was a teenager and I was at like the height of my manga fandom. I was just going, like, I would read manga all the time. But as I got older, I kind of stopped reading as much. So that's kind of why I started this channel, because I wanted to follow One Piece and read One Piece and review One Piece, but also other manga as well. So yeah, so after encountering Leolio and Kurapika, uh, that's what this drawing I just showed you kind of indicates. Hisoka gets kind of bloodthirsty, and he gets kind of turned on, I guess. Like, he gets aroused by like fighting and the idea of like killing people. So he gets like all fucking bloodthirsty and whatnot. And then he moves forward, and Gon realizes, okay, whoever the next person who Hisoka comes across, they're gonna get killed, because Hisoka is super strong. He can pretty much take on anybody, at least at this point in the story. And when he gets into that trance, it's like you have no shot. So Gon decides, and he did this in the previous volume. He practiced like snatching Hisoka's badge uh, with his fishing rod. I think he practiced on birds. Like, he would predict their movement. So that's what he's trying to do here. He's trying to predict Hisoka's movement. And so Hisoka comes across this character here. I don't even know if they mention his name. This old guy here, him, and Gon's like, okay, now's my chance. Excuse me, because Hisoka's gonna attack him, so now's my chance to like get the badge while he's not paying attention. Although I was reading this and I was like, they all have to hunt each other's badges. And Hisoka, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense for Hisoka because he's so powerful, and Killua as well. But they wear their badges on their chests. And it's like, okay, you should at least hide it, or like stash it in your pocket or something, or like put it under your shirt, like just to make it a little less easy for somebody to just walk up and grab it from you. Although I guess nobody would really walk up and grab it from Hisoka. But this is I like this drawing here of Gon, like reeling, not reeling, but like thrusting his fishing rod while Hisoka's attacking. Then he gets it. He gets the badge. Hisoka kills the old guy. And then Gon just jets. Gon's like, I'm out of here. And then Gon, he gets like shot in the neck by this character here, this black guy. This character here. He like shoots him with a blow dart, and like paralyzes him. You see him get hit right there. He's like paralyzed. And the black guy's, I don't know what his name is, but he's like, oh, yeah, I could have taken you out 7,000 times. Like, well, while you were tracking Hisoka, I was tracking you, and I could have literally taken you out 7,000 times. So he goes away. He takes Gon's badge and Hisoka's badge, and he leaves. And then a few seconds later, well, I don't know how long later. I guess a little bit later, Hisoka shows up, and he has his head in his hand. It's like, damn, dude, the one black guy had to get decapitated. But yeah, Hisoka's vicious, dude. And so Hisoka actually gives Gon his badge. Because he was like, okay, you earned it, so you can have it back. And then Gon's like, no, I don't want it this way. Like, I don't want you to just give it to me. And then Hisoka's like, Um, uh, he's like, oh yeah, he decks him in the face, like right here. When Gon gets up, even though he has the like the what's it called, like the poison in him, and he's like, I'd rather not owe you, so I'll just give you the badge back now. And then Hisoka just decks him in the face. He says, "You see, it suits me to let you live until you become a truly worthy opponent." Decks him in the face, and then he says, "If you can punch me in the face like that, I'll take my badge back. Until then, it's yours. Don't lose it." So badass, dude. And it's funny, that kind of reminded me of One Piece a little bit. Like, accomplish something great and then come back to me. Kind of like Shanks and Luffy. Shanks gives Luffy his hat. He's like, when you're a great pirate, give me the hat back. Hisoka here is like, when you become a formidable opponent and you can deck me in the face, like I just decked you in the face, you can give me the badge back. Um, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we cut to Killua, who's being tracked by these three brother characters. This is a cool chapter. It's pretty much just Killua being cool. He's so dope, dude. And this is awesome. I love this part. The guy, one of the brothers that's tracking Killua, kicks him, right? Kicks him in the I think he calls it a solar plexus kick. And then while he's kicked, you don't even see it happen. Like it's like the dude's like, wait a second, where's my badge? And at some point, while Killua was like getting kicked, he took his badge. So yeah, so he pretty much just takes all three of them on at the same time, like without breaking a sweat. And then he takes he take because one of them was his target, so he took that badge, and then the other two that he didn't need, he just chucked them in two different directions. Um, and he's like, yeah, good luck getting them back, I guess. And then this is cool too. One of the badges flying through the air, Hanzo just grabs it out of the air, and he's hoping it's the badge that he was looking for, but it turns out it's actually the wrong one. He's one number off, so he went for the wrong badge. And then there's this like comedic panel where he's like oars. Okay, then we cut back to Leolio and Kurapika, and then Gon joins them. Leolio is still looking for his target's badge. I think Kurapika has both of the badges he needs, and Gon has both of the badges he needs. So Leolio is the only one that doesn't have the badge that he needs yet. But then Gon, using his sense of smell, is able to track the target, Leolio's target, and she's in a cave. So they go in the cave, and Leolio goes in first, and Gon and Kurapika stay back, and they're like, okay, if you don't come out in like a little bit, we're gonna come after you. So they wait a little while, and then Leolio says, Gon, Kurapika, stay back. Snakes. And they're like, what? So they rush into the cave to see what's up. And Leolio is on the floor, and he's surrounded by snakes, and he got bit, like all over by a bunch of snakes. And and then there's Leolio's target, this girl, I think her name is Ponzu. And then there's another dude, I think his name is Bourbon, and he's just sitting in the corner. Um, and then what they realize is the cave is booby trapped, and that the dude sitting in the corner is um, a snake charmer, and he booby trapped the cave so that if you try to leave it, you get attacked by snakes, or if you try to attack him, you get attacked by snakes, or if you try to touch him, I guess. And he also died because Ponzu accidentally killed him because she has like bees that come out of her hat. This is Ponzu, her right there, and she has bees that come out of her hat, and the guy she like made the bees attack him, I guess, and and he was allergic, so he just died from the bee stings. Um, oh yeah, and she also had yeah, she has gas. She has like sleeping gas too on her. Um, so Gon decides, you know what? He starts marching towards Bourbon, I guess the corpse of Bourbon, and he just starts like rummaging through his like body or whatever, like his clothes. And while he's doing that, he's just getting attacked viciously by all the snakes. Um, that's a cool panel right there. I like this panel. And and he's just completely like engulfed in snakes. And then he finds a bottle of antidote for the venom on Bourbon because he just assumed that he should probably have some antidote um, if he's messing around with like venomous snakes. So he gets the antidote. Uh, they give the antidote to Leo. They give the antidote to Gon, and then they say, "Okay, now how are we gonna get out of here?" And they're like, "Oh, you have sleeping gas." The girl, she has sleeping gas, so they're like, "Yeah, um, spray the whole cave with sleeping gas, and then the snakes will fall asleep, and then we can get out." And they're like, "Yeah, but that'll take 5 minutes. We how are we gonna do that?" And then Gon's like, "I can hold my breath." He says 9 minutes and 44 seconds is his personal record for holding his breath. So basically, Gon inhales, like takes a big breath, and Ponzu releases the sleeping gas. Her, Kurapika, and Leolio fall asleep. All the snakes fall asleep, and Gon carries all three of them out of the cave. Um, so that was a pretty cool chapter. And then that's it. That's the end of the of I forget what phase it is, but it's the penultimate phase. Um, and then they all start heading towards the final location for the final test, and they're in this big blimp that the Hunter Association has. And while they're on the blimp, Netero, I think that's his name, right? The old guy doesn't say at the beginning here. I'm pretty sure his name is Netero. Um, Netero interviews. He's like the chief hunter. He's like the main hunter in charge. And I love his design. I think he's a cool old character. I want to have a cool old character in my comic. I'm trying to come up with like I need to sit down and draw and try to come up with some cool designs. Um, but he interviews all the remaining examinees, um, and he starts with Hisoka. And it's funny. Hisoka just says, "What's he?" So the Netero asks, "Why do you want to be a hunter?" And then Hisoka says, "I don't as such, but the license does have its uses. For instance, you can kill, and more often than not, escape the consequences." So Hisoka is just like a serial killer, essentially, that wants to get away with murder. Um, but well, I guess Killua is too. So yeah, so they all get interviewed, and then they arrive at the final location for the final test. And turns out it's a tournament, like a fighting tournament, like you have in Dragon Ball and whatnot. Except here, the rules are a little different. In this tournament, if you win, you advance. You only have to win once. If you lose, I'm sorry. So if you win, you don't advance. If you win, you're out, but you become a hunter and you qualify to be a hunter. But if you lose, you go on to the next match and you try again. So at the end of the bracket, there's only one loser. So everybody's pretty much gonna be a hunter except one person. So it's one loser instead of one winner. Um, and the first fight is the only one we really focus on. It's Hanzo versus Gon. And this is where you kind of, at least in my opinion, where you kind of realize how cool Hanzo is. I mean, I guess he's been cool up until this point too, but he doesn't show up that much. Um, but he fights Gon, and he's pretty much just dominating Gon. Like, he's actually stronger than Gon. Um, but Gon refuses to give up. He refuses because you have to pretty much. The only way to lose is to give up. You can't kill your opponent, and I guess there's no knockouts either. So or maybe there are. I forget. But you have to essentially just admit defeat in order to lose and go to the next match. And Gon doesn't want to do that. So I think they say it takes 3 hours. So it's like 3 hours of Hanzo just beating the shit out of Gon. And then he breaks his arm. He's like, I'm going to break your arm if you don't give up. And Gon's like, nope. And he just breaks his arm. This is a cool page. This page right here. This one. Like Gon wincing in pain. And he's behind the first two panels. I like that. And then Leo is losing his shit. He's like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of that ninja. and Kurapika is like angry too. And when Kurapika gets angry, his eyes, I think they turn red. So his eyes are actually red. But then I guess Gon is so endearing that Hanzo decides, you know what? You can go on ahead. You can go on ahead, Gon. Oh yeah, this is funny. He's like, oh yeah, I want to see my dad, and Hans was like, is your pride all you care about, even more than your life? Is it some kind of weird rush to hold out in the face of impossible odds? Um, and then he's like, okay, I give up. I give up. Hanzo gives up. But then Gon is like, I don't want to win like that. I don't want you to just give up. And then he's like, okay, you won already, kid. What more do you want from me? And it's like, it's so funny. He's like, hey, you're just walking away? Come on, we can do better than that. We can have a proper match. And then Hanzo's like, and why should I bother? You won't give up. End of story. And then Gon's like, but I hate winning like this. So should you. So would you. And then he's like, what do you suggest then? You and I can figure it out together. And he's like, in other words, even though I'm all set to surrender, you want us to figure out a way to fight that not only gives you a chance against me, but a way to win honestly. He's like, have I got that right? And then Gon's like, yeah. And then he's like, dream on, and just uppercuts him. So good. I love Hanzo. I hope he comes back later, man. I feel like he doesn't, I feel like I wouldn't know if he did, but I haven't read. Like, there's a lot of Hunter x Hunter that I haven't read, so he could come back. I don't know. I think he's a dope character. Oh yeah, that uppercut knocks out Gon, and then he wakes up in a bed. I think it's the next day, and then Satotsu, I think that's his name, the weird. He was one of the examiners. I forget like, what his like title is, but I guess he's just a hunter. But he has an interesting design with like the mustache and the big nose. Um, but he pretty much explains everything that happened to Gon after he got knocked out, and he gives him his hunter license. Um, oh yeah, and he's like, so who wound up failing? And it turns out the one who wound up failing, and I had completely forgotten about this, was Killua. Killua is the only one who didn't become a hunter apparently because he killed his opponent, or at least that's what I think happens. Um, because his opponent turned out to be his brother. I don't think you're supposed to know that at this point because they don't go on and say it's his brother. But I know it's his brother because I read this a long time ago. It's this weird guy who has all the weird needles in his head, and when he takes them out, it like reforms, like reshapes his head. How do I do this here? There we go. I think that guy. That's Killua's brother. And so we're recapping the fight right here between Killua and his brother, Illumi. And that's the end of the volume. I'm really sad. I actually don't have the next volume in my possession at the moment. Times have been kind of rough for me. I've been pretty broke recently, so I haven't been buying as much manga as I would like. But I still have a bunch of manga that I haven't read that I bought previously that I still need to get to and make videos about. So I'll probably do that at some point in the near future. Forgive the shitty lighting. The shitty lighting. It's dark. It's nighttime at this. It's like 9:38 right now, so it's dark, and I don't have very good lighting in my apartment to be making videos. But my videos are low quality. What can I say? I don't really know how to make videos. I just do this for my own fun, like my own entertainment, I guess, because I don't really get any views. I don't really, I don't get anything out of it. I just do it because I like to read manga and to I like to read manga and I like to talk about them. So hopefully somebody comes across this video and enjoys it. That's the goal. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. I guess it would be nice though. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed that volume of Hunter x Hunter. I thought it was really good. I had a lot of fun reading it. I had forgotten how good it was, um, but I had a lot of fun reading it, and I'm sad that I don't have the next volume right now. I might buy it sometime soon, but I probably shouldn't because I'm so tight on cash at the moment. But if anything, I'll make a video about. Let's see, I could make a Jujutsu Kaisen video. I could make um, a Tali Fille de la Lune video. I can make My Hero Academia, Kaiju number one, Kaiju number is what is it? Kaiju number 8. Yeah, I have a bunch of manga that I bought before that I haven't gotten to yet, so I can just read those for now. So yeah, so anyway, I've been going on for almost a half an hour. So if you enjoyed this video, thank you. You feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know, I would really appreciate a comment more than anything, really. Um, you know, I don't get many comments, but comments are always nice. Um, a like and a subscribe would be much appreciated as well. I have so few subscribers. Um, but I appreciate you guys. In case, even if you know you're not many, but if you watch this video, I definitely appreciate you. And yeah, if you watch me talk about Hunter x Hunter for about a half an hour, thank you very much. And yeah, I'll see you in the very near future. Have a good one.